At one point or another, we've all opened up a package of something we ordered only to find that it fell woefully short of our expectations. This rang especially true to me last week when I almost made a grave purchasing mistake. While scrolling on Amazon, I came across what I initially thought was a cool LCD screen for the inside of my PC, but eventually realized that it was a decorative LED display featuring Overwatch fan art that I wouldn't exactly call safe for work. I figured I couldn't be the only one who barely dodged a bullet, until the customer reviews revealed that some folks weren't as lucky and actually bought the item thinking it was an LCD. Make no mistake, the image of a shocked father or young child receiving this item is f***ing hilarious. But to help prevent such chaos, I vowed to uncover the root of the problem and how the branding of a simple product could slip through the cracks. It's time we dive deep into those cracks now. Before we continue, this video is brought to you in part by CDKeyOffer.com. So I have 3 desktop PCs that I regularly bounce between, and all of them are running activated copies of Windows from keys that I got on CDKeyOffer.com. I've used many key sites in the past, but CDKeyOffer is the only one I've never had an issue with. I've never had a bad key, I've never had to call customer service, I've never had to email customer support, and I've never had to activate Windows over a phone, which is super fun. Right now you can get a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for around $22, but wait! Add it to your cart, use the 25% discount code BW20 at checkout, and the price drops to just $16.93. Buy Grabthar's hammer, what a savings. To use your new key, just go to your purchased orders from the drop-down menu to view and copy the key once you get there, and then paste that key into the Windows activation page. Voila! You've got an activated OS that's also eligible for a free upgrade to Windows 11. Alternatively, you can skip the upgrade and buy Windows 11 Pro directly using the same code BW20 to snag the OS for around $23. Activate the key using the aforementioned steps and get the full Windows experience easily and affordably. Thanks again to CDKeyOffer.com. Now back to the main video. Expecting one package and receiving another can be a jarring experience, especially when an item so salacious enters your home. To fully understand the breaches of all these peaches, I had to start by analyzing the product page. The title shows that the item is from a brand named Vetroo, which we'll discuss later, but the rest of the text makes it unclear as to what exactly this product is. It calls itself a display board with LED lights for computer case, which is particularly vague, followed by specifications like Full HD 2K. For one, this is contradictory in that Full HD represents a 1920 by 1080 resolution, not 2K, which is typically 2560 by 1440. But the main point here is that including terminology to describe resolution could easily lead the average person to think that this was an LCD screen. I assume what the seller is referring to is that the printed artwork on this panel is a high quality or HD image, but at this point there's still no mention as to whether the image is printed or digital. Also listed here is the text horizontal and B6. This helps to notify shoppers that the product is offered in 2 variants, B6 and A6, with the latter featuring different physical dimensions, a vertical orientation, and a different display image of similar tastes, none of which get us closer to the bottom of this mystery. In fact, one of the A6 photos even features a 3rd display image, adding to the confusion. Surely the product description would set things straight, but no. More vague wording, terms like resolutions, and no confirmation as to whether the image could be changed left me in the dark. Until I saw one of the photos featuring a diagram of the product with only a single Molex cable, which doesn't carry video signal last I checked. It's a small detail that most people probably wouldn't notice, and shouldn't have to. If a shopper has combed this far into your product page and still can't tell exactly what you're selling, you have failed from a marketing standpoint. In the seller Vetroo's case, whether that's due to attempts to deceive buyers or sheer incompetence is unclear, but both possibilities are inexcusable. It seems that the only way to be 100% certain as to what this product is by reading the reviews of upset customers stating things like, "It's just a backlit picture, it's not a display," and "It's a static image and does not alternate." All of these are key product details that should have been included in the description to prevent this assault on misled buyers. Barring the reviews, 2 minor hints that this is not an LCD are the price, which seems low for the type of display this resembles, and the customer photos that only feature the same 2 smutty images, along with a few snaps of a Street Fighter version that appears to be no longer for sale. That's all to say, I can't blame anyone who bought this product expecting the endless possibilities of an LCD and got booty instead. It would go a long way for Vetroo to simply update their copy with explicit language stating that these products are not LCDs and feature static images that can't be changed. Not only would this have the biggest impact of protecting buyers, it would also help lower the brand's restocking fees due to high return rates, so everyone wins. But is this a move we can trust Vetroo to make? Who is Vetroo anyway? A quick look at their Amazon store pulls up a number of budget cases, coolers, and other PC parts and accessories that seem to be OEM items, meaning Vetroo doesn't manufacture products so much as brand them. That said, they're pretty smart about what they slap their name onto, since most of their products have positive reviews. Coincidentally, Gamers Nexus reviewed their popular A5 cooler a couple years back and said it was fine, which is as high a mark as any from Steve, especially these days. For a brand that's reached such notoriety and success, once again I would expect Vetroo to do the right thing here for the sake of shoppers and update the copy of all their DisplayBoard products to quite literally cover their asses. At this point I could have packed it in. Case closed. Just another Amazon seller with poorly written copy. But looking into Vetroo got me thinking. If they weren't manufacturing their own products, it seemed unlikely that this image was produced internally, and that it was potentially being used without the artist's permission. After all, it's not uncommon for brands to swipe the creative works of others, as evidenced by the numerous sellers I found cakeifying their own products with the same piece of artwork. Was this a stolen image? Was it licensed, protected under copyright, or fair use? I reached out to Vetroo under an alias, who quickly replied with a vague claim stating images of our products are licensed, making it unclear if this was referring to the artwork itself or the carousel images on their product page. When I asked for clarification, they said that all the images on all of their display panels were in fact licensed, which was a relief to hear, but I wanted more confirmation. Naturally, the only person who could possibly corroborate Vetroo's claims was the artist behind this mural of dumpers that so many brands were now appropriating. To find our Vincent Van Gogh, I googled some choice keywords which revealed several places like Steam Workshop where the image was hosted, but they all turned out to be copies, often cropped in low resolution with no mention of the source. I searched every nook, crack, and cranny of the web, hoping to find the full set of original cheeks. Alas, each path led me down one dead rear end after another, and just when it seemed I would never find our Fanny Warhol, silly me realized I hadn't done a reverse image search. Doing so returned hundreds of results to comb through until one in particular caught my eye. It was from Donburu, an anime image board. The page loaded, and before I knew it, there it was in all its glory. Uncropped, high-res booty. And right beside it, the alleged artist's name, Boar. Several links in their profile confirmed that this was indeed our Leonardo da Cucci, revealing a substantial portfolio of similar artwork that I backed up locally for research purposes. I tried contacting Boar multiple times to verify whether the seller's claims were true, but received no reply. Unfortunately, when it comes to the artwork's licensing status, Vetroo's word alone is all we have to go on for now. Despite feeling like I had just been to several moons and back, one thing still felt unresolved. Was this actually a good product, or just a whole lot of junk? I mean, hundreds if not thousands of people bought this item knowing full well what it was, and most of them seemed like happy customers. For those of you with bolder taste than my own who might be considering this product now that I've brought it to your attention, I decided to purchase one myself, fully aware that it would stain my squeaky clean order history and that my algorithm would never be the same. Despite the great sacrifice, I felt compelled to answer the call of booty. My item came in Street Fighter branded packaging, almost as if to throw unsuspecting buyers one last curveball. The display board itself is made of acrylic, highly prone to ass scratching, but the artwork print is surprisingly crisp and lets you appreciate all the fine details. One indicator that this might actually be a licensed image is that it's not flipped as shown by the text here, which is something sellers often do with stolen artwork to pass copyright scans. Sadly, the image is cropped on both sides, so some butt had to be cut. From a side-by-side, we can see that the original artwork features 9 full booties, whereas our display board showcases just 5 full booties and 2 partial booties for a grand total of 6 out of 9 booties. Coming off the display board is a Molex cable that connects directly to your power supply or to the included LED controller, which then connects to your PSU via SATA. With the double-sided tape provided, it typically makes the most sense to mount the display board to the case's PSU shroud, but beware of mounting it too low, particularly if your side panel has bottom tabs that pose clearance issues. With the product installed and system turned on, your PC becomes charged with the power of glowing lady butts, bringing an eclectic mix of pleasure and shame to your environment. Oddly enough, only 2 of 3 buttons on the controller work, but seem to provide all of the advertised functions. There's about a dozen brightness levels offering a fair amount of granularity and strength to shine through tinted glass, along with a number of breathing and strobing effects if you require more flashing than what's already on display. Meanwhile, the backlight works well enough and cooks all the buns evenly without any unsightly hotspots. Putting any subjective taste aside, the product is of decent quality and works as intended, which deserves applause for performing its single task of clapping back. Needless to say, I wasn't prepared for all the flair of this derriere fare, and while many of us prefer other methods of making our PCs extra thick, I think the sheer amusement that this item's novelty brings to the table is something we can all get behind. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. If there's other weird tech products you'd like me to review next, drop it down below. As always, thank you for watching. Get subscribed for more tech content on the way, and I will see y'all in the next video.